In the top stories, Prime Minister Harris updates the Federation on several national matters. Mental Health Day Treatment Center to be fully operational this month. And anti-crime match and rally held in downtown Bastille. The details on these stories and more after the break. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris updated citizens and residents on matters of national interest at his monthly press conference held at the Parliamentary Lounge at Government Headquarters on Wednesday. The Prime Minister addressed several topics, including the state of the economy, law and order, and updates on plans set forth on the Team Unity Administration's Good Governance agenda. During his opening remarks, the Prime Minister noted that several companies, including SL Hosford's, Rams Group of Companies, and the National Bank, described 2016 as the best year for business so far.
Superlative performances are being reported. This is strong evidence of the considerable good health of our economy and the high confidence that businesses have reposed in my government and in the overall investment climate.
The monthly press conference gives the media direct access to the Prime Minister on a regular basis and keeps residents informed of the operation of his administration. The press conference was streamed live on ZIZ Radio 96.1 and Television Channel 5 and attended by press, government officials and members of the Police High Command. The Mental Health Day Treatment Center is expected to be fully operational in about 2 weeks. That's the word from Minister of State responsible for Health, Honorable Wendy Phipps. During the Prime Minister's monthly press conference on Wednesday morning, Minister Phipps said plans are still on stream, although they have been faced with numerous challenges. Among them, security issues and smooth coordination with the Joseph N. France General Hospital.
The Mental Health Day Treatment Center, even though it is supposed to be directly managed by community-based health services or the public health infrastructure, is also a joint operation with institutional-based health services, bearing in mind that our current acute facility for mental illness is reposed in the Jane France complex, and there would have to be serious interface in terms of the placement of patients at the Mental Health Day Treatment Center, because part of the PAHO endorsed protocols dictate that we must have every single user of the center assessed by the acute facility prior.
Minister Phipps said nevertheless the government expects that they will meet their promise to have the center fully operational before the end of this month. The Ministry of National Security teamed up with the St. Kitts Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce and the Ministry of Education in organizing an anti-crime match and rally in St. Kitts on Tuesday. The match and rally involved students from all secondary schools in St. Kitts and selected primary schools, as well as students from AVEC. During a rally held at the end of the anti-crime match, Minister of National Security, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, said he was happy to see such a large turnout.
We are concerned, like the rest of the society, that all hands must be on deck. And so I was very pleased, and I am very pleased that today we were able to mobilize hundreds, if not thousands of people in support of this effort in furtherance of an agenda of public safety and security.
He also spoke of the importance of the match and rally.
It is our young people who suffer most as a result of violence and crime. We see that reflected with the many young persons who today have lost a loved one to crime and violence. That is why it was important to us to do something very special that could capture the imagination and the interest and the enthusiasm of our young people in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The anti-crime activities were hosted under the theme Stop and Think Before You Proceed. Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris met with a group of Nigerian students studying at Windsor University School of Medicine on Saturday, April 1st, on the university's campus in Brighton Estate, Keyon. Prime Minister Harris said that he met with the students to give a listening ear to the students' experience in St. Kitts and Nevis. He said, quote, "We want to learn more about you, your circumstances, that we may be able to improve upon your situation. Basically, this is a listening tour to give a sense of some of the issues and therefore to see where possible, if we can, implement policy options that would bring relief and that would make sure that your stay here is as productive as can be," end quote. President of the Nigerian Student Association at Windsor University, Uchendu Julian Duru, informed the Prime Minister that a number of Nigerian students enrolled at Windsor University are experiencing financial difficulty in paying their tuition and accommodation due to economic recession in Nigeria, which he said is the major problem experienced at this time. He said due to the devaluation of the Nigerian naira and the problem at the country's central bank, people have had to resort to purchasing US dollars on the black market. $1 is equivalent to about 306 naira. Prime Minister Harris assured the students that he will take their matters to the cabinet for discussion. He wished the students well in their studies and thanked them for making St. Kitts the destination of choice for study. After the break, the police have located a person of interest in a shooting investigation and the 25 most remarkable teens to undergo youth development training. We'll tell you more when we come back. The police have located a man identified as a person of interest in an ongoing investigation. According to a police statement on Wednesday, Calvin Archibald, the person identified in a person of interest bulletin issued on Friday was located by the police. Zedazed understands that he has since been arrested on suspicion of shooting with intent. The police have extended their appreciation to the media for assisting in spreading the information and to the general public for their assistance. Beginning this weekend, the 2016-2017 class of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis will be exposed to further training. The training is being spearheaded by the Department of Youth Empowerment. It is intended to reinforce their positive traits and ensure their contribution to the development of their respective communities and the nation. The first session will take place on Saturday, April 8th in the conference room of the Nevis Disaster Management Department at Long Point. It will focus on improving leadership as well as interviewing and networking skills. A second workshop will also be held on Nevis on April 22nd. This workshop will focus on project development, time management, and volunteerism. The awardees will use the skills from that session to develop their group projects and share concepts. Youth Officer Saira David said the trainings are being held in Nevis in support of the Sister Islands commemoration of Youth Month. She added that the projects coming out of the sessions will be implemented after the training and must be completed by the end of October. The outcomes will be displayed during Youth Month, which is celebrated annually in November on St. Kitts. Strategies to boost employment for young people and to enhance the quality of jobs that come to the Department of Labor are key areas that will be addressed over the next 6 months. Acting Labor Commissioner Shernell James said the department has won the call for proposals from the Bilateral Corporation through the Inter-American Network for Labor Administration, RIAL. Ms. James said she was pleased that the Federation was successful in formulating the proposal that will receive support from the Department of Labor in the United States. The 10th RIAL call for bilateral cooperation ran from January 16th to March 15th, 2017, and received 41 proposals involving 20 ministries of labor from countries including Chile, Colombia, El Salvador, Jamaica, Mexico, Paraguay, and Suriname. 2 persons from the Department of Labor in St. Kitts and 1 from Nevis will travel to the U.S. for 1 week to observe operations of the Job Corps, which, according to its Department of Labor website, is the nation's largest and most comprehensive residential education and job training program for at-risk youth ages 16 to 24. The visit is expected to take place in the 3rd quarter of this year. Commissioner James added that officials will also explore ways to boost employment for young people and also study best practices to increase the number of skilled job vacancies that are sent to the Labor Department through its Employment Services Unit. Funding for the visiting team will be provided by the Organization of American States, OAS. Coming up, Brazil court to decide President Temer's fate. The details when we come back. Brazil's President Michel Temer could be stripped of power if an electoral court invalidates the result from the 2014 presidential election over allegations of corruption. Temer was vice president at the time, but was elevated after Dilma Rousseff was impeached. The uncertainty is leaving Brazilians more disgruntled about politics than ever. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Elzando reports from the capital, Brasilia.
Michel Miguel Elias Temer.
Judges deciding the fate of a current and former president. Brazil's electoral court postpones a ruling on the validity of the 2014 presidential election, and by doing so, just prolongs political uncertainty in South America's largest democracy. The 2014 presidential ticket of Dilma Rousseff and Vice President Michel Temer won the election, but stand accused of using illegal campaign financing. They deny the charges. But Rousseff was impeached last year by Congress amid pro- and anti-government street protests. Temer then became president. If the Electoral Court annuls the election, Rousseff would be barred from public office, but perhaps more importantly, Temer would be stripped of the presidency and Congress would select a fill-in president until new elections next year. Many Brazilians are worried about the ramifications if another president falls before their term is up.
It's better if we wait until the elections and get a new president.
Brazilians have grown accustomed to political upheaval, but it now faces the possibility of sinking to new lows.
With an unemployment rate over 13%, an unpopular president, and political turmoil, most Brazilians are discouraged about the state of politics in their country.
I'm ashamed of the Supreme Court, the Congress, and our president. I'm ashamed of everything. No one is looking out for us.
When it comes to convicting politicians, the laws are too weak and too slow.
Now a real possibility that protracted legal proceedings paralyze a current government whose fate now rests with 7 judges. Gabriel Elzando, Al Jazeera, Brasilia.
In Guyana, a gold dealer was granted $3 million bail for allegedly obtaining millions of dollars through a fraudulent bank scheme. HGP's Javon Vickery has the details.
34-year-old Siddiqui Rafiq Mohammed Rasool of Prashad Nagar, Georgetown, the proprietor of SSS Minerals Trading Enterprise, denied the allegations when he was arraigned before Chief Magistrate Ann McLennan on Monday. He was slapped with 6 counts of obtaining millions of dollars under false pretense. It is alleged that between March 21 and 22 at Bartico, with intent to defraud, he obtained the sums of $290 million, $298 million, $138 million, $45 million, $89 million, and $96 million from the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry by falsely pretending he had cash in his account at Citizens Bank to honor the Citizens Bank checks he encashed. A police report stated that the checks, totaling $900 million, were deposited in Rasool's account. Attorney-at-law Sandil Kisun, who represented Rasool, told the court that his client is being criminalized for the negligence of the banking institution. Kisun noted that the institution paid out the monies without verifying the standard balance at his client's Citizens Bank account. He, however, made an application for Rasool to be released on bail. It was further stated that prior to the arrest of Rasool, there were ongoing discussions with the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry about having the matter resolved. Meanwhile, police prosecutor Alvin Moore objected to bail, citing that Rasool is still under investigation for other similar offenses. It was further stated that the police are in the process of issuing a wanted bulletin for a female manager at GBTI. Prosecutor Moore said that the manager at the said institution allegedly did not follow protocols laid out by the bank when paying out the monies. The matter was adjourned until April 25. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
Coming up, new €50 note gets security upgrade. The details when we come back. Europe's central bank is launching a new €50 note designed to thwart counterfeiters. The ECB says the old one was way too easily forged. Al Jazeera's Dominic Kame reports from Frankfurt.
It's long been the most used banknote in Europe, accounting for almost half of all the notes in circulation. But with growing concerns over fraud, the European Central Bank decided it was time to revamp the €50 note. So it went back to the drawing board and decided to boost the note's security. Specifically, the note has stiffer paper, new holograms, embossed edges and enhanced colours, all designed to thwart counterfeiters. With final checks complete, it was time for the ECB's president to give his approval.
This is the culmination of a very large amount of research and dedication from my colleagues in the ECB and in the Euro system. And I applaud them for producing another first-rate product. Although banknotes may not receive as much attention as other aspects of our monetary policy, they are a fundamental part of what we do.
The security features built into this new note are clear and apparent when you get a close-up look at it. The ECB says this is about guaranteeing enhanced security, both for the currency and for the people spending it. But the question, therefore, is, what do they make of this new offering?
In the shopping areas of Frankfurt on Tuesday, public opinion was broadly supportive.
It's surely harder to duplicate it. For the regular photocopying machine, this does not work anymore. No, because of the window there is a difficulty added. But one always has to check this. You need sun. Normally you do not see it that well, as it's uncoated here. But with light, it is perfect.
So I find this one is much better than the old note. This one is stiffer, is waterproof as far as I know, and also counterfeit proof, safer.
If people here like the feel of their new money, then that will be music to the ears of the ECB. They say a strong new banknote is a sign of a strong currency. Dominic Kane, Al Jazeera, Frankfurt.
Up next in sports, Karen Powell included in ODI Squad for the first and second one-dares, and the TV viewer tattles on pro golfer Lexi Thompson. Stay tuned. The West Indies Cricket Board's selection panel announced the 13-man squad for the first and second matches of the ODI series against Pakistan in the Brighto Paints presents the Q-Mobile Cup. The full squad includes Captain Jason Holder, Devendra Bishu, Jonathan Carter, Miguel Cummins, Shannon Gabriel, Shai Hope, Alzari Joseph, Elvin Lewis, Jason Mohammed, Ashley Nurse, Karen Powell, Roveman Powell and Chadwick Walton. Craig Brathwaite was not included. The first match will be played at the Guyana National Stadium on Friday. First ball in all the matches is scheduled for 9:30 a.m. Lexi Thompson had been leading in the final round of the Anna Inspirational Golf Tournament until she received some bad news just after the 12th hole. More on that story.
A TV viewer likely cost golfer Lexi Thompson a victory at the first LPGA major of the year. Thompson had a two-stroke lead until she completed the 12th hole in the final round of the ANA Inspiration Tournament Sunday. That's when LPGA rules officials told her they were giving her a 4-stroke penalty for something she did the day before. Someone watching Saturday's round on TV noticed Thompson did not properly replace her ball ahead of the putt on the 17th 17th hole. Rules officials took a look and agreed that infraction is worth a 2-stroke penalty. Thompson also received another retroactive 2-stroke penalty for signing an incorrect scorecard, something she says she didn't realize she did until the viewer sent in their email the next day. Thompson fought her way back from 2 strokes behind to tie for the lead, but lost in the first playoff hole. The payout for her second-place finish was just over $250,000, more than $150,000 less than she would have gotten had she won the tournament.
After losing a heartbreaker last year to Villanova, North Carolina is celebrating after capturing the 2017 NCAA Basketball Championship title. Here's more.
Redemption is sweet for North Carolina. After losing a heartbreaker last year to Villanova in dramatic fashion, the NCAA national title is headed back to Chapel Hill. Despite the loss, this is still a historic year for Gonzaga. This is the Zags' first trip to the Final Four and the national championship. Their season comes to a close with just 2 losses. On the other hand, for North Carolina, this latest championship only adds to a cemented legacy as college basketball royalty. Believe it or not, North Carolina has been to back-to-back national championships before, and similarly, they lost the first year in 1981 and prevailed in 1982, Michael Jordan's freshman year. Overall, Carolina has been to the NCAA title game 11 times now, and the Heels have won more than they've lost, boasting a 6-5 record. As for head coach Roy Williams, he's been a Hall of Famer for a decade now, but this third national title pushes him past his mentor, former Carolina coach Dean Smith. Only 2 coaches in men's college basketball history have held the championship trophy more times.
When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines. Recapping the top stories. Prime Minister Harris updates the Federation on several national matters. Mental Health Day Treatment Center to be fully operational this month. And anti-crime match and rally held in downtown Bastille. And that's the end of the Zatizer Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Barrage. Goodbye.